Hola from the west side. It's DC, the Purple Diva. And it's a Tuesday night in Southern California. And we are about to go under the first ever extreme red flag alert, with possible wind gusts up to 80 miles an hour. And this is the worst that they've seen in this part of California in over 10 years. Okay, so that's what's going on in Southern California. Hey, Face Tiger. How are you? Welcome to my live stream. Thanks for coming through. I'm just talking about the red flag alerts that we have here where I am in Southern California because of the fires. And then I was about to talk about Northern California. In Northern California, they still have, there's over 200,000 people who still evacuated from their properties. And PG&E continues to cut power in Northern California. How are you doing? Now, is it still Tuesday where you are? Or is it already Wednesday? Hard to tell. And then there's a delay in what people say from StreamYard. Let me open up I'm opening up my YouTube so I can see stuff faster. Maybe he left. But anyway, as I was saying, we have this Southern California fire. So we had two fires here in Southern California. Here in Southern California, you have the Tick Fire, which was the original fire in the Santa Clarita area. And then in the last couple of days, you also had a fire in the Pacific Palisades area, which is near Malibu. And that fire resulted in Pepperdine University being closed on yesterday. They weren't saying anything about it today, but I believe that UCLA was still closed today because of the Getty fire. And, oh, I see people jumping in. Hey, Larson. Hey, Eva. Yeah, I'm talking about them. Yeah, but Mayor Garcetti, the mayor of Los Angeles, got on TV yesterday, and they have already determined that the Getty Center fire, that fire was caused by Department of Water and power lines. A tree branch apparently fell on the power line, and the power line didn't shut off. It kept on producing power, and the tree branch caught on fire, and then it went from there. So that's what the latest is in regards to that. And then tonight, overnight, we're supposed to be having these high winds up to 80 miles an hour. And they still haven't gotten the fires contained. So they're trying to do what they can before the winds come in. But with high winds, there's always also again the possibility of the fires fanning back up and then power getting knocked out. Are you? Wow. That's the one that they're calling the tick fire. The Saddle Ridge one. Yeah, the one out in Santa Clarita. I have a few friends that live out that way too. And then you have what's going on up in Northern California. I mean, people were trying to save their vineyards and everything, and they've lost, I don't even know how many homes were lost in Northern California. They don't know what caused that fire. The only thing the PG&E can say is it wasn't them this time, so far as they can tell. Oh, Saddle Ridge is the... Oh, yeah, that's right, because there was... I keep forgetting there was another one because, yeah, up by Northridge. By the 118. Is that the one that was up by the 118? And now we got the high winds coming in. This is just crazy. And they say that they haven't had winds like this, haven't had anything like this in over 10 years. And they're saying that this is the first time that they've ever had to do an extreme red flag alert. Yep, that's okay. Yeah. So I knew that there was another fire. I knew that there was another one because they had the 101 closed out in the valley. So I knew that there was another fire, but they stopped reporting on that one. They stopped reporting on that one after the Getty fire happened. Yep, they're calling it an extreme red flag, not just a red flag. And this is the first extreme red flag alert that we've had. I don't think it's in Southern, it's just in Southern California. Hi, Beauty, how are you? Welcome to the chat. I'm talking about the fires that are here in California where I am. And then we're going to have very, very high winds overnight, which is a concern because it can reignite the fires. And today was my son's birthday, guys, but it was not a happy birthday. So, yeah, it's not a happy birthday for him. He had an adult meltdown, and I don't know what it was about because it didn't happen with me. It was when he was at work. And, yeah, then after that, it wasn't a happy time because he was supposed to do something with his dad tonight, and that didn't happen. And then his father and I had words, but we're talking about an adult. My son turned 24 today. So we're going to have to get him into some adaptive behavior therapy to help him with the behavior, because he cannot express his anger this way. Yeah, he cannot express his anger this way. It is just not a good thing. It's not a good thing because he's an adult, you know, and then, you know, now they're threatening to kick him out of the program because apparently this has been happening for a minute, but they're just now telling us about it. Thank you. So you decide to let it go on and escalate, and then you decide to tell us about it and say, okay, let's see what we can do about this. So, yeah. So then so now he's kind of muted, and he went to bed early, even though, you know, he had like all this food, didn't even eat it. And he's kind of, you know, I don't know. So he was supposed to go to DMV today to go get a new ID, but that didn't happen, obviously. So he'll just have to walk around with an expired ID for a couple of days because it wasn't happening. Yeah, they didn't say anything until, I guess, he got aggressive with one of the other workers. So, but you should have said something to me the first time it happened. You know, not now, you know. So anyway, we're going to move him to a different program. So it doesn't even matter. We had already decided he was not going to stay at this particular place because it's not a good fit for him anymore. Yeah. And that's the scary thing about when you have an adult that this is disabled and they go to work, because you can't be there with them the whole time. You don't know what's going on. It's the same thing with, your adult children that aren't disabled, but it's like you just don't know you don't know what to trust. You don't know what really happened to cause a situation. So anyway, hopefully he'll be better tomorrow. Maybe we can do a do-over of his birthday tomorrow. Yeah, before the 31st. Because, like, I'll just tell you guys, like, when I was pregnant with my son, they were going to induce labor on the 31st, and I was not having a Halloween baby. And I told them that if he didn't come by the 30th, that they were going to have to wait one extra day. And he was going to have to come in November because I didn't want him to share his birthday with Halloween. But thankfully he came on the 29th. And see, that's the thing. That's the thing, Larson. I don't know. But the thing is that sometimes with the meltdown, they come out of nowhere to us and to everyone around. It could be something that happened 2 days ago, and now he's maybe this person did something to him last week, and now today something happened, and he ain't gonna deal with it. But I don't know if something had happened before with this specific person. So He just needs to be in a program with people that are his own age anyway, because most of them are way older than him. Like, way older than him. In their 30s. Hi, Razan. Hi, fishing guys. How are you? Everything lags over on the StreamYard, so it takes me a minute to see when people come in. Thank you guys for coming over. Yeah, I was talking about the fires in California, and now I was just talking about my son. Today was his birthday. Well, it still is his birthday here. But he didn't have a really good birthday. Yeah, I know. That's why I usually have to open it up on my phone so I can see it on YouTube. But by next week I will have over a K in subscribers, so I'll be able to go live from my phone and I won't have to only use StreamYard. So it'll make it easier for me to go live. Yes, guys. So, if you don't know anyone in my stream, even though it is not a growth stream, I do support people getting to know each other, because that's how I got to know all of you. That's how I got to know all of you. And there are so many wonderful channels here on YouTube. So many. I go around the world at night and go to some of the to a lot of different lives. I've gone to a few of the silent ones, but I like to go to the ones where it's daytime when it's the middle of the night here. Exactly, fishing boy. I know. Listen, I'm telling you, I've been in some where I don't even understand what they're saying. They may be speaking French. I can understand Tagalog because it's close to Spanish, so I can understand some of what they're saying in those. But I've been in some that are on the continent of Africa, and they may be speaking whatever their native tongue is. And then somewhere in there, they'll talk English. They'll talk English. So I don't know, but it's funny because we expect everybody to know English because we speak English, which is so rude. So rude. I don't expect everybody to speak English. I go with whatever it is you speak. I just hope if I say I like your video, that you know I said I like your video. That's all I hope. But I mean, I found a lot of channels. That's why, but going around the world is how I found some of the other channels that were about autism, because some of them weren't in the United States. They were in other parts of the world. I know, and that's like, so I figure we all don't speak the same language, but if you like somebody's video and you comment on it and you give it a thumbs up, they know that you like their video. If you give it a thumbs up and you leave a comment on it, and I always leave hearts. So even if they don't understand anything else in my comment, they see the heart, so they know that must mean I liked what their video was about. I go around the world at night. I know, but it's true. I do. I go around the world at night because when it's nighttime here, it's not nighttime everywhere else. Some places it's daytime. Like when it's nighttime here, I know that it's daytime in Australia. And I have friends that live in Australia. I know you usually are. I know you usually are. I was surprised that you were able to come through. I know. I love being a YouTuber because I like learning. Because you learn so much about other people, and everybody has something that they can teach. Seriously, and I like when some people just show like the parts of the world that they're in that like I've never been. Like there's one YouTuber that's done some videos on the Indian Ocean, and they're so beautiful. I've never seen the Indian Ocean, so it's beautiful to me to be able to see it even through their eyes. Yep. I've been to your channel, Fishing Boys. I love the fishing channels. I used to fish when I was a kid. My dad, we used to go fishing in the country when I was a kid. Yeah, but I remember before I started my channel, I would come on YouTube in the middle of the night and watch different videos, and I would see that there were people on at night, and I didn't understand what that was about, at first. But yeah, I was and I've like gone around, and people may have they'll have panels, and they'll be having these deep conversations in what is the middle of the night to me, but it's the middle of the day to them. So it's just funny. I love catfish. I love the real catfish. I'm not sure about what they sell in the stores now or what they sell in the store as salmon. I'm just really, really, I'm really, really hesitant. I usually go, if I want to get fish, I usually will go to the pier, down to San Pedro, to the seafood market early on a Saturday morning and get it. Get the same fish, get the same stuff that's coming off the docks, off the ships. So, but I don't know what they have in the stores. I'm GMO paranoid. And because they don't have to tell you that they messed with the fish. So yeah. So I don't really buy fish at the store anymore. Yeah. No, I don't. Only buy it when I get it from down at the docks. Yeah. I go to San Pedro to the seafood market early on Saturday mornings. Every Saturday, it's open to the public, and I go down there if I want to know that what I got is fresh and really came out of the ocean and didn't come out of some lab where they were growing fish. So. All right, Larson, thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate you just coming through just for a minute. Yep. That's the dock where I go to get the fresh seafood. All right. That's fine, guys. I will be going because there'll be people coming through. I appreciate you stopping through. Thank you. But anyway, so I don't know what I'm going to do in regards to my son. Until we get the actual adaptive behavior stuff for him, I'm gonna have to go on their website and see what they have that I can start with him immediately at home to help him with his behaviors and to help him to express himself a different way when he's upset. Because he knows he's angry, but he's not able to tell us why he's angry or what's really making him angry. You still there, Miss Eva? It looks like everybody else came through for a minute. But, okay, somebody else is here. There's a couple people here, but I don't know who it is because I can't see who you are. Say something. Say hi. You gotta say hi. Or I'll continue talking to myself. Oh, hey, Beauty, you still here? I knew somebody was still here. Yeah, he'll leave you a comment. Because we all know you got to do it the right way. So, Beauty, how are you tonight? I'm doing okay. I'm just winding down. I'm disappointed that I didn't get to really do the things that I wanted to do for my son tonight, today. But, there's always tomorrow, and I can only imagine how he feels versus how I feel. So, but I am doing fine. I am feeling blessed that I'm not really in the in the direct area of the fires. Yesterday, my eyes were burning so bad from I guess the smoke that was in the air and everything. But today it's better, and I think it's just because a lot of it's blown out of here. And that'll be the one good thing about these high winds that are coming through, is that they'll blow a lot of hopefully the smoke that's still in the air here out of here. But most of it's gone east. Most of it has gone east. But it's just, the stuff that's going on here in California is just, this is the second year in a row that we've had these really, really bad fires, especially in Northern California. It must suck to live in Northern California right now, because this is the second year in a row that they've had. Even though the other fires were north of the Bay Area, this time it's closer to the Bay Area. You know, the fires that we have down here, it's not as big of an area. It's just where the fires are located are in areas that go through, people have to go through to get to heavily populated areas. So I guess it's one of the costs of living in Southern California, really is living in California, because, you know, it used to really be more Southern California that was prone to the fires, and now it seems it doesn't matter where you are in California, which is they still don't know what caused those fires up in Northern California. They still don't know what caused those. They do know that it was a power line on one of the fires here, though. Miss Eva, are you still in the chat or did you leave? Is it just me and Beauty? Might just be me and you right now, Miss Beauty. I'm just glad that this week is going on. Oops, what happened? Well, I don't know what there goes the music. It stopped. So I made it come back on. Wow. Back to the beginning. I was like, where's my copyright free music? That music was actually created for me by my goddaughter, so that y'all didn't have to just listen to my voice. Hey, Terry. I know I like to mess with you on both of them, but how are you? Man, I was just talking about the fires, dude. I talked about them because I'm listening to the stuff down here, and they're worried because the one by Getty Center could potentially pop back up. I know. Did everything end okay with Kinks? Did everything end okay on her live? Well, see, the Getty Center one, I'm going to tell you, I live by the 405. So the Getty Center one is like 20-minute drive up the freeway. It's like 20 minutes up the freeway. So, because it's by West LA. So, you know, it's by UCLA. So obviously that's not that far, because that's on this side of the hill. That's not in the San Fernando Valley. The other fires that were going on were it was a couple of them, you know, the tick fire, and then there was another fire out in the valley, and then you had the Pacific Palisades fire, but this is the closest one to me. Hey, Sunday. Girl. Kinks was putting out a 911 for you. She was worried about you, sis. Yep. Kinks was worried about you. Yeah, girl, the fires out here. It's a mess. I was just telling Terry the Getty Center one, that one's like 20 minutes from me. It's a 20-minute drive, you know, to where that one is. But I'm not going anywhere near it. So have no fear. I'm staying as far to the south of it as I am. I'm good. Yeah. Kinks she just was wondering, with that bridge and stuff, if everything was cool with you in New York. So but glad to see that you are okay, Miss Sunday. Yeah, last night we had a really good conversation. We were talking about mental health last night. That conversation got a little deep. It did, because I'm kind of passionate about it, because we don't like to, because people of color, no matter which color, don't like to talk about it. Only ones who seem to have no problem talking about it are those who have the least melanin in their skin. Yeah. Yeah. But it was deep. It got deep. But now I'm like wondering about these fires and stuff. And then the fact that they're saying that this is the first time ever that they've had to use this specific extreme red flag, and that they haven't seen winds this powerful in over 10 years. So, and I'm thinking, but I'm sure we've had winds that I guess they were high winds, but maybe, I guess they weren't like 80 miles an hour, but it's the potential to go to 80 miles an hour. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be 80 miles an hour. It's just that they could possibly, but the potential is what has them all freaked out, because they don't have that fire in Getty Center contained enough. And the winds could very well push it to start up again. And then they're still trying to contain all the other fires. They got like 3 or 4 fires in the Los Angeles area. So, yeah. And that doesn't even include the fires that are south of here. There was one in Anaheim, but I haven't heard anything else about that. So I guess that one went away, or it was near Anaheim. And I haven't heard anything else about the other fire that was in Riverside County either. Because once they started talking about the one in Getty Center, it's like they forgot about the other ones, because this one is where the celebrities live. Man, I was just like, okay. Y'all more concerned about whether LeBron has a place to stay than whether, all them people in Northern California who had to evacuate. What about them? Yeah, no, so far, I don't live in an area that's prone to the fires, thankfully. I don't live near the brush areas. And this is one of the reasons why the majority of Los Angeles County does not allow fireworks except the public displays, because of the areas that are dry. Because even though we are technically not in a drought in California anymore, there was still a long period of time where we did not get rain properly. And the geography here is still suffering because of that. Because every time a fire happens and it scars the land, then eventually some new vegetation is going to grow in that area. But with unless we have a normal rainy season this winter, we're going to be going through the same thing again next year. We'll be going through the same thing next year. Because I don't even understand. When I came to California, they didn't have no problem with the rain coming down in the wintertime. That's when I found out it was a myth that it never rained in Southern California, because it rained a whole lot in Southern California every winter. And then started not getting no rain. Rain just never came. It's like the storms, like the rain would come and would go somewhere else and miss California or miss the southern half of the state. But I think it's because I think things they do mess with Mother Nature, mess with the weather patterns, mess with the plates shifting, because they study the weather. And if they found a way to control the weather, they wouldn't tell us. We wouldn't know. Because if they have found a way to control the weather, then that means that they can control food. Because crops are dependent on the weather. And the only thing that they're supposedly doing is they try to predict what the weather is going to be. Hey Marceline Videos, how are you? Happy Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on where you are. It's still Tuesday where I am. But in the majority of the world, it's already Wednesday. In the majority of the world, it's already Wednesday. Except for Mountain Time. It's almost Wednesday. It's almost Wednesday in the Mountain Time. How are you doing? Everyone, say hi to each other in the chat. Do not be shy to say hi to everyone in the chat. Y'all know I tend to run my mouth. I am a chatterbox. I will just talk and talk and talk. about the things that are going on. But I don't know what's going on with this weather. Hey, Terry, you back? I'm just talking about, I think that people are messing with the weather and stuff. I'm not saying that they're causing the fires, but it sure is strange that California used to get plenty of rain every winter, and now we have to pray that we're going to get enough rain every winter. You know? It is. What's strange to me is that the fires this year and the fires last year are in are almost in the same places. But nobody's talking about that. At least in Southern California, they're almost in the same places. They had a fire in the Getty Center area last year. They had a fire in the Santa Clarita area, which they call the tick fire this year, last year. You know? And there was another, and they also, and we know that we had fires last year in Malibu. Now they have a fire in Pacific Palisades, which is close to Malibu. So I'm just saying, it just makes you go hum. It just makes you think, you know? It's just hard to believe that is a coincidence. It's just hard to believe that it's a coincidence. It's Wednesday. Yeah, that's what I said. It's probably Wednesday for mostly everybody but me. By the time I get off, it'll be about Wednesday for me. I'll be getting off around Wednesday. Yeah, but no. Yeah, it's just, you know, I just think about the stuff. Absolutely. Everybody get connected. If you see someone in the stream, say hi. Everyone in my stream are great folks. I think they are controlling the weather Sunday. I really do. You know, and I know one thing that it appears that they're trying to normalize is earthquakes. You know, they're just trying to normalize earthquakes in California because, like, there was an earthquake in Compton. It wasn't a big one, but it was still an earthquake. But they swept that under the rug because then immediately after that earthquake, then we started having fires. So, yeah. So nobody's talking about the earthquake anymore. Now they're just talking about the fires. But the same weather that they associate with fires is the same weather that they associate with earthquakes here in California. I know. That's what I'm saying. They were talking about those. That's what I was saying. The people up north are trying to save their vineyards. It's horrible up north. It's horrible up north. What we're going through in Southern California is nothing compared to up north as far as fires. But because of these high winds, we have the potential for something really bad to happen. Oh, I know. I've seen people put videos of those on YT. I've seen some videos of them on YouTube. Yep, sure have. Well, I'm gonna tell you, one of my friends is a part owner to some vineyard up north or something in the Sonoma area. I can tell you, anything that survives this, whatever's going on up there, is gonna be high as heck. Yep, it's gonna be high as heck. You know, because now you have to worry about even if they don't catch on fire, you know, what happens if they're in an area where the smoke is? Then the smoke is all over the grapes. Smoky wine. Smoky wine. But you know, they have a couple of vineyards that are in Southern California too. In Temecula. Temecula has a vineyard. They have a winery down in Temecula. And they do concerts and stuff at that one too. But yeah, I've been down there for like wine tasting and stuff. Down in Temecula, they have one. That's what I'm thinking. If the fires get near the vineyards, even if the grapes are not destroyed, how are they going to protect it from the smoke in the air? So, and last year some of them lost their crops to the fires. So it's just, you know, I don't know. This is not the same place I came to. California was very, very different when I was younger. Or maybe I just saw it differently when I was younger. I just think it's changed. You know, because we shouldn't have this homeless situation in California. They just shouldn't. And I guess I keep talking about it because it bothers me. It just bothers me. I mean, it's not a whole lot that I can do about it as one person, you know. I mean, and you know, like I said last night, my church, we go down there every 3 months and feed and give, you know, personal products to as many people as we can down on what we call Kings and Queens Row. We don't call it Skid Row, you know, because most of those people are our brothers and sisters. You know, I'm not saying it's not other races down on Skid Row, but it is what it is. The reality is, it's a lot of black men, and then it's a lot of, and then next it's a lot of Latino men, you know. But you know, and then you got families down there. You got families. You know? People just trying to survive. And then we got this person that's in there as the mayor, and I don't even know what to say about it. I don't live in Los Angeles, so I don't really have much to say because I didn't have anything to do with him getting in office. You know, but it's just an embarrassment that the city has allowed it to get to this point. And I do know that some of the things are that, you hear the rumors about other states, shipping their homeless to California and making it our problem. And that may be true. That may be part of the issue. But that's not 100% of the issue, And we had the problem prior to The Big Short, and when people lost their homes. You know what I mean? So I just am always concerned about people's ulterior motives and what's really going on versus what they tell you is going on. Because we get a whole lot of lip service about a whole lot of stuff. Yeah. And what was said in the earlier live was true. The governor of this state, let me just say, he came to our church when he was running for governor. Because even though I go to a little teeny old church, and my pastor may not have this big, huge, mega congregation, she has a big, huge, mega influence. So anyway, and his wife is a better person than he is. I'll just put it like that. His wife is probably the reason he got in office, because she's a praying woman. So, but, he said all kinds of stuff to us, about what he was going to do when he got into office. I'm still waiting. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I'm still waiting. I mean, some of the things that he talked about, he has done in regards to trying to help with getting some of the prison reform done, even though some people don't like that, and they use scare tactics about, but the truth is you have a lot of people who are in jail for non-violent offenses or for having weed that shouldn't be in jail, shouldn't be in prison, because their counterparts of another persuasion didn't go to jail for those same offenses. It only makes it right. So he has done some stuff on that level. I'll give him that. But as far as the statewide homeless issue, I ain't seen nothing. Because that keeps getting pushed down to the city levels for the cities and the counties to fix it. That's what's going on about that. It's getting pushed down to the cities and to the counties. And then nobody wants it in their backyard. Nobody wants affordable housing in their neighborhood. Because I think the fear is the affordable housing will become like a project, and they don't want the projects in their neighborhood because they think it's going to bring down the real estate value. The homeless are not treated like people. They're not treated like human beings. And that's the thing. Now, I know they're not losing any sleep over it. But this is the one place where I will back the news media here in LA, because NBC here in LA, they keep putting it on the news. They keep putting the mayor of LA on blast. They keep putting him on blast about the homeless. I mean, there is a, I'm telling you, there's something on at least once a week, putting this man on blast, putting him on. So, you know, at the very least, they make him keep putting band-aids on the situation, but you know, it's going to come to a head, because he is being exposed, and it's getting national exposure. It is getting national exposure. Everybody in the country knows how bad the homeless problem is in Los Angeles. You know? I know, and that's what I'm saying. You know, it's been brought to the national to the nation's attention that we have a really bad homeless problem in Los Angeles. You know, and I remember when I was a kid. I remember when there was a bad homeless problem in DC. I remember that growing up, you know, and it was really, and what made it so evident would be in the wintertime. You'd have these people, they would be sleeping on the subway grates to keep warm and stuff, because they didn't have like a lot of homeless shelters or anything like that in DC. They still don't. But they no longer have as bad a homeless problem as they did back in the 80s and in the 70s. But LA, part of it could be people coming from other parts of the country and then winding up homeless, but that cannot be the entire problem. I think some people get priced out of their home, priced out of having a roof over their head. You know, and then, you know, they can only, you know, and because you have some people that just live in hotels, so you don't know that you don't necessarily know that they're homeless, but they are homeless. They just live in these hotels all over the city. That's what, you know what I'm saying? They live in these nightly hotels where they'll let them stay there for a week at a time and stuff. So that's the part of the homeless population that's undercover, because they're not out on the streets, but they live in cities all over LA County. I'm telling you that, because they got those little hotels all over the place. You know, in every city they got little hotels where people live in hotels. We all know it. You know, so that's why I'm like, if it weren't for those hotels and some people being able to afford to live in them little hotels until they could get into an apartment that they could afford, it will be more people out on the streets. I know, and the thing, and that's the thing, is that what it appears to be is that there is we have an artificial housing shortage, and it's not that we have a shortage of housing. There's plenty of housing. It's just the price on the housing is not affordable to the many. It's only affordable to the few. So, I mean, and I may not be, Democrats might not be my favorite people in the whole wide world, but the Democratic presidents at least cared about whether people had a house. You had Clinton, and then you had Obama. Now, Obama helped, try to fix some stuff, with the extending that mod program forever and ever and ever for people to be able to get into it forever. And then when Clinton was in office, he created the Nehemiah program that helped people become homeowners by getting this grant to help them with the down payment. And so there have been some other programs that have been created since then, but now, those programs don't really work that well in California with the cost of housing. But they still have these little secret programs that a lot of people don't know about. There's like some programs where you can get city seconds if you buy properties in certain census tracts. And that's not just in California. That's like, in all over the country, because it's part of community reinvestment. But then there's always limits on those. And then you have the Habitat for Humanity homes. And you have some here in California, you have those like all over the country, but again, there's a limit on those. And those, I've built a few of the Habitat for Humanity homes, and they put very good quality workmanship into putting those places together. Some of the people are volunteers who may not have the experience, but the majority of the people who are on those projects are people who actually, that's what they do for a living, build houses. But, again, there's not enough of those kind of properties available. But in reality, the way that God made the earth is that he made it so that every person should be able to have their own little piece of land, their own little place. That's the way it was really made. That's just not the way we have it. But it should be that way. People should, everybody should just have the opportunity. And people should have to be able to leave a legacy for their children, an inheritance. So, but I know I ramble on that subject. I can get a little preachy. I don't mean to be, but I just see, just like everybody else sees, that there's so many people who think they're woke that aren't woke, that don't really know what's going on, don't really understand what the dynamics is. And the dynamics is that, the family is at risk. They don't want there to be families. They don't want there to be families. Families are stronger than individuals alone. But, that's just my thinking. Hi. See, that's why I always have to come over. Good morning. I cannot read your name for nothing. Tamik. Tom. Tamik Skate Racing. I know I'm massacring your name. Good morning, though. I'll just say racing. I know I'm saying that part right. Good morning, Ikang, Japan. I'm just in here being a preachy person, talking about families being important and people having a place of their own being important, and not so many, and not having this homeless issue that we have in California. I'm glad I'm not part of the homeless population, though. But it could be, but I'm not. Oh, thank you. Tom. Yeah. I knew it was Tom. I just couldn't figure out what was after the Tom in the name. I knew I could see the Tom part. And I have to I'm looking at my phone to watch the chat because it takes, for whatever reason, that's the one thing I don't like about StreamYard is that it delays the chat. And if you're not watching the chat on YouTube, you miss what people are saying. It delays it for some stupid reason. I'm doing good. It's like 11 here, and it's at the end of my son's birthday. Today was his 24th birthday, but he didn't have a very good birthday. He is an adult with autism, and he had a meltdown at work. So it was a situation, and unfortunately, the activities that were planned for his evening did not happen because he was not in the mood for them. Not because we were gonna, not do it, but after his day, and then he had all this food they needed. So I'm just sitting here talking to my YouTube family and telling everybody that I'm in the safe zone, at least for right now, in regards to the fire. I'm hoping that they don't do any more rolling blackouts where I am, Terry, though, because I'm telling you, they did one on Sunday before there was a fire close to me. But that was Edison, and the fire that was close to us was DWP, which is Department of Water and Power for Los Angeles. They caused that fire by Getty Center. Man, I can just see the city gonna get sued. The city gonna get sued. The city of LA may get sued. Everyone feel free to smash that like button. Please don't forget to smash the like button. And if there's anyone in the chat that you don't know, which may be everyone, say hello. Everyone mix and mingle. Get to know other people on YouTube. Because I promise I don't have friends who are in any of the drama zones. We are all drama free. This is a drama free zone. This is a love and positivity and knowledge zone for all. Yeah, I'm just shoot. Man, I am I have to go get that real ID. But you know, I still haven't found the long version of my birth certificate. So I'm gonna have to go online and order another copy of my own birth certificate from DC. Just because I need to have it. I have a passport, thank God. I can use that for the real ID. But I still need to have a long copy of my own birth certificate just for security reasons. In case people want to act funny about anything at any time, I need to make sure I have all my paperwork. Make sure I have all my daggone paperwork. You know, include my daggone birth certificate. Wow, but I think as soon as I figure out how I'm going to do it, I'm going to do a video of me doing one of my either doing one of my sketches or one of my paintings. I haven't decided yet. But I just have to figure out if I can do it with my limited stuff that I do my YouTubing on. Because all I have is my phone and my ring light. So we're going to figure it out. How I can set it up so that I can do that. Yep. Croatia. Wow. I bet it's beautiful there, though. Is it cold there now? Is it cold in Croatia right now? Is it cold there? They are still talking about these fires here. They're still talking about the fires. They are still talking about the fires. And here's the thing. They apparently, someone got it on videotape as they were driving down the freeway. They captured when that tree branch hit the power line and started the Getty fire. Somebody got it on tape. Can y'all believe that? That someone conveniently has that on tape? Oh, well, that's good. That's good. So it's probably more like milder winters, probably like, I guess maybe like it gets into, see, I don't know in Celsius, but like in the 60s in Fahrenheit. So I don't know what that is in Celsius, because everybody else, I believe the United States, we're the only one who still use Fahrenheit for temperatures. The rest of the world uses Celsius. So silly. I remember when I was in school that they made us learn the metric system because supposedly the United States was going to change over to the metric system, and then we didn't. And so now everything, except, like a lot of things have both the metric and the gallons or whatever, whatever inches and whatever. It's so stupid. I wonder why we didn't change over. Probably because they just had to be different from the rest of the world. I remember that. We went through all of that stuff. And they made everybody learn the metric system, and then we didn't do it. But I mean, we still had to know it for like international stuff. But I don't know why we didn't change over to the metric system. Seems to be easier. I know. I just think of weird things, Terry. I told you, I have all kinds of stuff that is in my mental Rolodex. Like the fact that, yeah, we still use the Fahrenheit for temperatures and nobody else does. And the rest of the world uses the metric system and we don't. And then supposedly the metric system is more accurate. I know. I don't have any idea either. But there was some reason why they decided not to do it. After gearing up to do it. For some reason, I'm pretty sure it was probably some stupid political reason why we didn't do it. I bet you it was. You know, because that's the only thing that would make sense in regards to that. But now they're telling us to brace for these extreme winds that are supposed to hit. They're supposed to hit after midnight into tomorrow. You know, but I mean, at least where I am, when I was outside earlier, it wasn't that windy, you know, but I remember when we've had some kind of windy days, and it can get kind of, you know, windy. And a lot of stuff will start blowing around. So, but so far, not seeing that. But out in the Inland Empire, they're starting to see some of the high winds. And probably out in the valleys, they're starting to see the high winds. But probably because of where I'm located and our proximity to the beach, we're not seeing nothing. I know. Hey, no, what does that say? No one gets the prize. How are you? Yeah, I was kind of talking. Oh my goodness. Hey guys, John Witherspoon died. You know, his sister-in-law used to watch my son and my nephew when they were little, because I used to live in the valley. And I used to see him over at her house sometimes. Wow. Because she's married to his brother. And his real last name is not Witherspoon, it's Weatherspoon. But he uses Witherspoon professionally. Wow. Oh, man. That's the guy that was in Boomerang. And then he played on He played as the father on the Wayans Brothers show. He was only 77 years old. He's younger than my brother. My dad. My dad is a few years older than him. Wow. And then that movie director guy died yesterday. The one that was married to Alan McGraw. Wow. So that's two people. And you know what happens? It usually always comes in threes. Yesterday was that director guy or producer guy. I think he produced the movie Love Story. Yeah. Yeah, and then Alan McGraw left him for Steve McQueen. And then today, John Witherspoon. Yeah, I thought he was so funny. Oh, I know my sister's probably going to be really, really upset. She knew him better than I did because, you know, she was really good friends with. She became really good friends with the lady that watched our kids. Because I moved from the valley, so she wasn't watching David anymore. But Joshua was still going over there for a while. Wow. I wonder if she heard about it. I'll have to catch up with my sister in the morning. Yep. Bang, 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 bang. I know, from Boomerang. Boomerang. That's like one of my favorite movies. That's one of the classics. And then they got that new series that's supposed to be the spinoff that's based on the kids of the characters from the original Boomerang. Halle Berry, I guess, is one of the executive producers on this one. I've only watched like maybe 1 or 2 episodes of it. I don't know. I couldn't really get into it. Maybe because it wasn't meant for me. It was meant for 20-somethingers for this generation because I think that's who it's geared towards. But I still haven't watched Dolomite. That's a daggone shame. I need to go watch it. Because it's on Netflix. So I have no excuse. I need to watch it so that I can give a commentary on it. You know? Because, I saw the original Dolomite, but to watch this about his life, I think it's going to be interesting. That's right. You've got to coordinate. That's right. Coordinate. I know. I still remember him with that wild suit he had on. Man. Ooh, he had on a party suit. He had on the party suit. But let me tell you something. Have you ever watched Boomerang in another language? Terry, you have got to watch it in a different language. You will crack up. Because you know the movie. And then when you see them, and then you hear the words in a different language. It's hilarious. I've watched it in Spanish because I do understand Spanish, but I need to watch it in a different language that I don't understand at all. I think it'll be even funnier. Some things, some types of comedy translate no matter what, you know. And that movie was, that was a classic. That was a classic movie. That was a classic movie. That was shoot. That's back when Eddie Murphy looked like your normal, everyday, regular, smuggly black man. Now, Eddie looking crazy having kids at his age. He just looking crazy to me having kids at his age. But then I got a cousin who's like my age, who just got remarried. Both of his kids from his first marriage are grown, and now he got a baby. I'm just gonna just leave that one alone, because you know, men don't have a biological clock, women do. So I'm gonna leave it alone. You retracted it before I could read it. Yeah. But everybody's saying that Eddie Murphy's doing a good job in that movie. They're saying that he's doing a great job in it. So I'm gonna have to take a look at it, so I can give my own opinion. I just been so busy watching like all these other different series from around the world on Netflix, and then Netflix has a lot of the Nigerian and Kenyan movies and stuff from Nollywood and stuff. So I like to watch them too, because they're interesting, because it's interesting to see their take on Western culture. It's hilarious sometimes, because then you see some of the same hang-ups that we have here are there, and I was like, it just must be in us as people of color. It just must be in us as people of color. You know, that's when you say you can't blame it all on us being enslaved, because they weren't enslaved and they still have the same issues. And there you have it. So it's us. Some of these things are in our DNA as people of color, and maybe because we were part of the diaspora, it may be exasperated in us. But then you go back to the continent and you see the same stuff. Just crazy. Yeah, Hey, Jay. Yeah, but I got my own opinion about Eddie with his 11 kids. You can have as many kids as you want, but that still doesn't change the fact that we all remember that you were with that trans woman who then mysteriously died. That's all I'm going to say. So you can have as many kids as you want to have, but I'm going to still give you the side eye, Mr. Murphy. I'm going to still give you the side eye. But it's all alleged. Nobody knows but him and the person who's now deceased what really happened. But we all know that it wasn't too long. It wasn't too many years after that that he and Nicole were no longer together. I know. Exactly. What kind of name is that? Dolomite. What kind of name is that? See, I know. Taking us back to all the black exploitation movies. All the movies back then. You know, but heck, that's how we knew. That's how we first got to know who Richard Roundtree was. That's how we all found out about when Cotton goes to Harlem, and found out what the cotton really was. Yeah, the blaxploitation era. Yep, those movies. I remember when Cotton Comes to Harlem was Godfrey. What was Godfrey's last name? God, I think his last name was Cambridge, Godfrey Cambridge, and Judy Pace. Judy Pace was in that movie. See, I got a good memory. I remember those 70s movies and stuff. I don't know why. I remember the Blackula movies. Shoot. All that stuff. Cleopatra. You know, Foxy Brown. All of that. Yep. Shoot. Miss Pam Grier still around here doing her thing. But I heard that even though they're getting ready to revise that series that she was on, the L Word, that she's not coming back because it doesn't coordinate with her schedule. That's too bad. Because I loved her being on there, because it was just so out of character for her to be on that show. Because she's a movie star. But, you know, and then remember that movie, The Original Gangsters, when they had everybody come back and be in the movie? Jim Brown and Richard was in it, and Pam was in it. Yeah, I remember that movie. And I think they even had Lou Gossett was in that one. I think it's just a couple of us in here right now. I don't think anybody would do that. But you know, we got some crazy names that people have given to their children. You know, and I thought about that when my son was getting his name. I don't know. My family was always into biblical names. But, you know, I have cousins that have all kinds of, you know, special names. I'm trying to tell you, they got special names. You know, and this is my Louisiana family, all out in the bayous with some special names. I think I have a cousin named LaDacia. You know, Quisha. There was somebody. Yeah, we got some different names, and then we got some names, some made up French names that the Creoles have. So, you know, yeah. Yep. We got some special names that are floating around in African Americans. Now, it's one thing if you want to give your child an African name and you know what that name means. That's perfectly fine. But when people make up names and they don't even know what the name means, they just put it together. Yeah. But then I mean, some of these names that we have, I think it was one name that I thought was so weird, and I can't remember what it is now. But it turned out that it was an Indian name. It was an Indian name that some black folk decided they were gonna take and give it to their kids. So, but that's why when I was a kid, Terry, I thought that we just had Spanish in our names. It didn't occur to me at first that the reason that we spoke Spanish and the reason that we had Spanish middle names and stuff was because our family was Cuban. Didn't occur to me, And, my dad didn't think it made any difference because we were still black. So he never explained it. It just is what it is. We were just Afro-Latino. No explanation given other than somebody came from Cuba. That was the only explanation that we got. But for me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I speak Spanglish, which means I speak Spanish when I need to speak Spanish, and I don't when I don't need to speak Spanish. Which makes it very awkward when people assume that I don't understand, and when they assume that I don't understand, and I start speaking it. I love those moments. They're good for me because you get to know lots of things, and but once people figure out you understand everything, then they're not. Then they start being careful what they say. I say, good. Bet you'll speak in English next time, won't you? I just think it's funny because they think that they're speaking in another language so that you don't understand, but you speak that language too. Yeah, I was like, I had to tell one person. I told them, I said, well, they're Black Hispanics too. There was more boats that went someplace other than America than the United States. Matter of fact, the least amount of slave ships were from the English. The French and the Spanish had more slave ships and more slaves. And they just went south. Hence, most of us, if we got family in Louisiana, some of that family came from the islands and came in through the other part of the diaspora. No, thank you, Terry. Thank you. But it doesn't really matter to me because the Spanish part of me was Black too. See, so and they were probably closer to African than the part that was that I have here. You know, I'm just saying that part of my family is probably more black, if that makes any sense. You know, I was like, but my dad's family, that's the family that I want to do the test to see who we really are and everything, because his family is very, very secretive, very secretive. You know, and many individuals appear to fall off the face of the earth in his family. I need to find out. That's probably one of the reasons why I don't know that much about my Cuban family. Probably why. Yep. It's gonna be. I'm gonna do it. My sister was going. She said, yeah, you go do it. She said, you go in and mess with that stuff. She said, they don't need to get my DNA. I said, well, really, if they get my DNA, they in essence are going to get your DNA too. I told her, I said, they're going to get yours too. If they get mine, they're going to get part of yours too. You know, but, you know, I told her, I said, I know for sure that's my daddy. So I'm going for it. Yep. Yeah. You know, you ain't heard much. We ain't heard hardly nothing about Martin lately. Other than we know that him and Will are supposed to be doing the new Bad Boys movie. That's the only thing we didn't heard. And that was a couple of months ago. And we ain't heard nothing since then. Maybe, I don't know. But that's all that we've heard in regards to him. I hope that movie come out soon. But Will Smith just had another movie come out, that Gemini Man movie? He just had that movie come out. I need to watch that. I started to watch it, but I need to watch that one. And I'm gonna watch Dolomite since it's on Netflix. That means I have no excuse, because I can watch it on my phone. I can watch it on my on the TV. I can watch it on my iPad. So I have no excuse for not having watched that. But you know what? You know what I also haven't watched is the that movie about those New York boys. The 5-part series about the boys from New York. And I have a friend that was was one of the actors in that. But I can't watch it because I remember it, and everybody that I know that watched it was really mad after they watched it. And I'm like, I don't even want my head to go there. I mean, but I think I need to watch it, because I really want to see if it's accurately depicted, since I remember when it was going on with those boys, and I remember our current president spewing hate in regards to that situation at the time too. So I do need to watch it, because I need to get past my bias and watch it as a historical, fictional depiction of a historical event. But I remember I watched that movie, the Thug one. I watched that one, The Hate You Give, that just took a portion of what Tupac was talking about. I don't think I don't think they ever going to really understand what that man was trying to say when he said thug life. He was telling them exactly what was going on, and it's still going on because people still don't get it. He was like talking about because of the way children were treated. That's why they are acting the way that they are as adults. That's why the generations are flipping out. Flipping out. Again, because the family unit is threatened and it does not exist. The family unit. All goes back to the family unit. I know, that's what I said. That's why I said I gotta catch it, because you can catch it on on a Fire Stick at this point. So I'll watch it on a Fire Stick. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Mr. Smith. I think we need a new black actor. We need a new black leading man, because Will cannot take Denzel's place. He's not picking the right projects at this time. And maybe he needs to sit back and think about the types of projects that he's accepting. Because that one he did with his son sucked too. Ugh, that boy. Does he know what he wants? Does his son know who he wants to be yet? Has he identified himself yet? Because I don't even know. I'm like, because Jaden, I don't know, maybe Jaden doesn't feel, or is it that he doesn't feel he has to identify? He doesn't feel like he has to identify. Well, the one with his son, you ain't missed nothing. It's on Netflix now. That should tell you something. It's on Netflix. You can go catch it on Netflix if you really want to see it. I couldn't even watch the whole movie because it was such a snoozer to me. And I like Will Smith, but that movie was a snoozer. It was horrible. It was like a vanity project for him to do with his son. You know what I mean? So it wasn't that good. And it wasn't a good look for Jaden either, so. Wasn't a good look for Jaden either. But yeah, him and Jada's kids, they're very interesting because they raised them in a very interesting way. They raised them in a very interesting way. That's all I'm gonna say. Because even if my son didn't have autism, I would not raise. He would have still been raised to be a certain way, And yeah, but everyone's not me, and I'm not everybody, and I made a choice long ago to not go certain ways, which would have led me into a certain type of lifestyle in the music industry. But I'm telling you, Terry, it's like knocking on my door again. I got people coming at me again to do music. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not getting ready to go out there and try to be Beyonce. I'll promise you that. But I mean, if they want me to do like some session work and do some background vocals for somebody else, I'll do that. But I'm not trying to do no album or nothing, or other than my spoken word. And on spoken word, I'm talking. I'm not singing. But that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, yeah. I'd rather somebody else sing what I write. I can write it, they can sing it. It was a snoozer for real, for real. I mean, it was like, how you start watching a movie and you fall asleep on it because it's so slow. That's what it was. It's supposed to be an action movie, but it just wasn't moving very, very fast. I mean, wasn't moving very fast to me. So let me see. Where are we? Are we almost to our? We're almost to our time, but we got to go another. Got to go at least another 6 minutes. We're going to be on here for at least another 6 minutes because we must always make sure we cross an hour. We don't want to do fractions of an hour. That's crazy. And I promise that I'm going to be consistent. So I promise myself I'm consistent. I'm getting on here every day and I'm coming on for at least 2 hours. And magically I can run my mouth for 2 hours. But that's because I'm not saying anything the majority of the rest of the day. Because even though I talk to you guys, I'm texting. I'm not saying anything until I actually get on here to do my thing. Even when I'm at work. This is when I start talking. You guys I'll get all my vocabulary for the day. Comes out of me. Yeah, Terry, that's what I'm saying. But I swear, I think he calls himself asexual or something like that. And I don't know. He's an adult, so at this particular point, it's really his decision. But the dress wearing is just like, I don't know. It seems to be some kind of fad that a lot of these young Hollywooders do, and they call it European. But the only Europeans I know that wear skirts are Irish and Scottish, and then it's another one. I can't remember who it is, but they're ceremonial. It's not how they walk around every day. I don't know. I mean, and then you have some tribes that have something that is similar, again, for ceremonial purposes, not everyday wear. Not everyday wear. It's not everyday wear. But hey. Didn't who else was wearing a skirt? That's one of them basketball players was wearing a skirt. I don't even remember which one it was. But it was one of them. But yesterday and this weekend, what I was doing when I was watching the football games, I watched and I saw how football for a long time was the only way for a whole lot of guys to go to college and have a career. Because when you look at the football teams, even still, the majority of the players are African American on almost every single team. And so that's like, so for so many of our boys, that was their only ticket to college, because academics wasn't pushed. Athletics was pushed, you know? And now we gotta figure out a way to get our boys motivated to go to college when there's no athletic scholarship that's going to be tied to it. Just, you know, things I watch, things make me think. I just start thinking about stuff, you know. And then I guess when I listen to some of our young men on YouTube, that's what makes me think about these things. Because even though the opportunities should be there, apparently they're not. You know, I was in a house where you didn't have a choice. You were going to college. Everybody was going to college. Even if you didn't finish college, you know, even if you went and you decided it wasn't for you, you still had to go to college in my family. Everybody had to at least attempt college, because they knew that all of us were capable of going to college. And most of us went to college and finished college. You know, but that's not the narrative. That's not the narrative in our community. It should be, but it's not. It used to be, but now it's not. And college shouldn't be something that's unobtainable. Should not be. We're the only country in the world where it seems to be unobtainable for most people. Daggone shame. Daggone shame. Well, Mr. Terry, and I don't know who else is in here with us. I think Jay is still here, or is Exploring still here? Looking to see who's still here. I think Exploring is still here. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you, Terry, for coming. Thank you, Exploring, for coming. Thank you, Jay, for coming. Thank you. No one gets the prize. Thank you, Tom. Just making sure that I'm saying thank you to everybody that came through. Thank you to E-Kane. Thank you to Beauty. Thank you to Miss Sunday. Let's see. Marceline Videos. Thank you for coming. And I think I got everybody. Wait a minute. And to Larsons and to Fish Boys Outlaws. Yep. And Rizwan. Yeah, Rizwan was in here earlier. I think I got everybody. And Miss Eva and FaZe Tiger. Thank you all for coming through tonight. I appreciate everybody who came through. And you know, I'll be back tomorrow. And hopefully tomorrow, I don't have to sit here and talk about these daggone fires. Hopefully there's something else going on. More exciting than the friggin' fires, you know? All right. Thanks, guys, for coming through, and have a great evening or morning. Peace, everybody. Bye.